Art. It comes in all shapes and sizes, all across different mediums. It's an idea brought to life, given physical form for not only others to enjoy, but for the creators themselves to enjoy too. From literal art, to music, even video games, these are all considered art in some way, and so is anime. Anime and manga are ever-evolving art forms, constantly changing the media landscape the more they evolve, like the ultimate Pokémon or something. And as a weeb growing up watching anime, it's honestly shocking and kinda cool to see just how mainstream anime has become. So it kinda sucks seeing new anime come out only for it to be censored so bad it makes it difficult for it to enjoy. Censorship in media is nothing new. Media has been censored since forever, with some reasons more justifiable than others. But with anime censorship, it's borderline whack and sometimes bizarre. See what I did there? You know, it's like Jojo's Bizarre Adventure anime. Moving on. Modern anime censorship is like some of the laziest type of censorship I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, anime censorship, especially in the West, has always been odd and kinda lazy, but at least back then they put in some kind of effort. We all know about 4Kids, you know, the company that dubbed anime while making it suitable for younger audiences, editing out stuff like blood, realistic looking guns, and all those kind of adult stuff. Even taking out full episodes that were deemed too risque. It wasn't the best kind of censorship, but it wasn't the worst either. At least thanks to them, they provided the internet with a heap ton of meme material.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut!
Like, if you went back and watched some of these censored scenes again, you're bound to be somewhat entertained. Like, just look at this.
What's up? It's a giant sandwich.
Who in their right mind thought this would make sense? But eventually, they filed for bankruptcy in 2016, fading out of existence forever. But with the growing popularity of anime and streaming platforms, more and more people are able to legally watch anime. For those of you who aren't aware, these days most anime gets released in two forms. The first form is meant for the TV broadcast in Japan, which is at given time slots each week. Since it's on TV, almost anyone can tune in, so more mature anime are aired at late night time slots, you know, so the little kids don't see it. But that's not all, as they also have to deal with general laws that come with broadcasting on TV, so it's understandable when some things get censored, such as gore to some degree and maybe nudity. Since these are aired on a fixed time schedule and the animators work like crazy to get the episodes out, sometimes issues in animation and art may occur. Then there's the Blu-ray release, which is basically a souped up version of the anime, free from censorship and whatever issues that the animation and art might have had. So with that, can you guess which version gets released on streaming platforms like Crunchyroll? Yep, the TV releases, which they release with subs almost an hour after the episode airs in Japan. While the Blu-ray release is the best way to enjoy an anime, chances are you watch the TV release because if you're like me, you're impatient and hate it when the internet spoils stuff for you. While I can understand censorship to a degree, sometimes it's just really bad and hurts the general quality of the anime. Case in point, Tokyo Revengers. Okay, so straight up, if you aren't watching Tokyo Revengers, well, what are you doing? Go watch it because you're doing yourself a great disservice by not. And don't worry, this video will not contain any major spoilers, just some teeny tiny details. Cool? Cool. So, quick summary. Tokyo Revengers is about a guy who, just as he's about to die, gets sent back 12 years into the past to his middle school days, and due to some time shenanigans ends up having to save his future self from dying. Finding out the reason behind his attempted murder and the death of his middle school girlfriend is all linked to a middle school biker gang. So in order to save her and everyone else whose lives have been ruined by the gang, he's got to alter the timeline big enough. A lot of Tokyo Revengers focuses on the gang in question, the Tokyo Manji Gang, Toman for short, who, might I add, are all in middle school. Not high school, middle school. Like, how are they doing this? And where did they even get those? When I was in middle school, I was running around throwing hand signs and pretending to be a ninja, and I could barely ride a bike. But anyway, Toman, like many of the other Japanese biker gangs, have cool jackets with cool stuff engraved on them. but you wouldn't know this because you don't get to see it. Yup, their jackets are engraved with the Buddhist symbol of peace, a symbol that looks very similar to a group of very bad people who were led by a very bad guy. You know the one. It's a symbol that holds a lot of meaning to Toman and their leader Mikey, but censorship won't let you know that. The censorship really kicks off in episode 5, but if you're watching it for the first time you'd think, wow, those are some really bright headlights, and what a lot of weird transitions this episode. Are they having like production issues or something? Just take a look at this.
だよな。
I didn't realize the episode was censored until I saw it online, and even then I was super confused as to why it was censored. It's not like something you'd see unless you're really looking for it. But it wasn't that big of a deal and it didn't ruin the overall fun of the episode. But here's the thing, these jackets show up a lot, at least once in almost every episode, and once you know it's there, it becomes pretty jarring. But then it gets worse. In a later episode, a big brawl breaks out between Toman and a rival gang, so naturally there's going to be a lot of Toman members wearing jackets around while throwing hands. But again, you don't get to see that, and instead you see a couple of repeated still shots accompanied by the sounds of people getting hit. It was not entertaining at all. It's something you could overlook until it comes back again, this time cutting out a scene from a huge dramatic moment for our protagonist, reducing the intensity of the emotion that was meant to be felt in that scene. And you know, I can't really be mad at them for trying to censor that, cause we live in a time where the internet is a rabid animal looking for the next thing to cancel, and anime has had its fair share of crazy people getting offended by stuff like CGI of all things. You know the fandom. But what's infuriating is how they go about censoring this. The white rays of light just feel way out of place and only brings more attention to what is trying to be censored, turning scenes into your screen at max brightness in the middle of the night. Honestly, the black shadows that are more common in other anime is much suited for this, considering the symbols are on black clothing, so they don't stand out as much. Then again, if you can't really stand the censorship, you could always wait for the Blu-ray release, but that takes time, so you might just end up watching it as it airs and then rewatch it on Blu-ray. So do I think anime will eventually reach a state where it's uncensored on streaming platforms? Absolutely not anytime soon. But it makes you wonder, if scenes like these don't get censored, why do scenes like this do? I'd love to know what your thoughts on anime censorship or media censorship in general is. Put it down in the comments below, and if you aren't already, consider subscribing. This has been your very favorite slice of bread, signing off.